You clicked because you feel it. The math stopped working. Today, we're counting down 10 states where the cost of living and taxes have become a tax on existence. Median home prices jumped about $113,000 since 2019. Mortgage rates are near 7%. And millions moved states in 2023. That's not vibes. That's a spreadsheet yelling. Stay and your salary gets eaten by housing, fees, and taxes. Leave, and you might actually build equity again. We'll show the traps, the hidden fees, and the breakpoints. So you know if you're next. Before we continue, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Number 1, California. California gives you beachfront sunsets and a monthly bill that eats your whole paycheck. Let's break it down. The median home price towers over the median household income. That gap is the gate. You don't clear it, you rent forever. Down payments stretch into 6 figures, and every extra 10 grand you need feels like adding another used car to the tab. That's the paywall. Nice weather on the landing page, credit pull on the next screen. But here's the catch. Longtime owners ride Prop 13 like it's a cheat code. Their tax base barely moves. New buyers, you reset at today's values and swallow the full rate. Renters don't get a pass either. Landlords bake that math into the lease. Add in insurance that's touchier about wildfire maps than you are about your ex's Instagram, and the pile gets taller. Now stack a 7% mortgage on a so-called starter home. The monthly payment jumps like a premium streaming bundle that auto-adds add-ons you never clicked. Then utilities show up with tiered rates, the gas pump hits you with the California surcharge, and every city fee feels like a parking ticket you didn't see coming. It's not one big bill, it's a subscription box of bills. Outbound moves keep climbing, and the push comes from the pricey metros. When a studio with street sweeper anxiety costs what a house used to, people start packing. In the service economy, you can't barista your way across 2 counties to save on rent. The commute burns time, fuel, and sanity. Meanwhile, remote workers ship their payrolls out while keeping their jobs. Geography stops being a flex when Slack is the office. Here's the part that stings. 6 figures doesn't play like it used to. Add childcare, state income taxes, HOA dues that fund a pool with closed for maintenance signs, and you end up middle-class poor on paper. Raises don't catch the line. Rent jumps faster. Property taxes reset higher with every sale you don't make. So you stall. You stay for the weather, the coastline, the tacos, but you lose years you could have been building equity. The market doesn't care that your sunsets are cinematic. The spreadsheet only sees principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and fees. Opportunity cost isn't a buzzword. It's the bill you pay in silence. Number 2, New York. In New York, the meter's always running, even when you're standing still. Here's the thing. The squeeze starts before you even see an apartment. City and state income taxes stack, then the commuter taxes nibble at each paycheck. You don't notice it month 1. By month 6, you're asking why your take-home feels like someone skimmed it with service fees. Because they did. But here's the catch. The time tax is real. Subway delays become a recurring bill you pay with your life minutes. Drive instead? Car insurance lands higher thanks to dense traffic and claim rates. And that's before street parking roulette gives you a ticket. Live in a co-op? Those maintenance fees read like a second rent. Staff, heat, lobby upgrades. Great on paper, punishing in practice. Let's break it down. Median rent eats a fat slice of median income in the city. You shift to outer boroughs to breathe, and the math barely loosens. Rent dips, but transit time stretches. Jump to the suburbs, and the property tax bill greets you at the door. Sure, you get a driveway. You also get school taxes that feel like a luxury SUV payment. Outbound moves have been heavy since 2020, and the data calls New York the fastest shrinking state. Remote work snapped the spell. The Midtown Premium lost its shine when Slack replaced the elevator ride. People realized they could keep the salary and lose the surcharge. And those co-ops? The monthly maintenance can rival a mortgage in other states once you add assessments and utilities. Condos don't always save you either. Elevator repair hits your board, and somehow, you're paying for a boiler you've never seen. Here's the insight that stings. It's not just rent and taxes, it's hours. Multi-hour commutes function like a part-time job, unpaid. 2 trains and a bus for a cheaper place? That's energy you can't spend on your actual career. Overtime promotions lag because you're managing logistics instead of skill building. The dream address turns into a liability when raises can't catch rent hikes. Your landlord adjusts to market rate. Your boss adjusts your salary by 3%. The gap widens, your savings shrink, and suddenly the deli coffee costs more than your first streaming plan. Let that sink in. Number 3, New Jersey. You buy a house in Jersey. Then the property tax buys your soul. Here's the thing. New Jersey sits at the top of the property tax charts, And that hits the middle class like a body check. You work hard, you buy the split level with the yard, and then the annual bill shows up like a second mortgage. The school district is stellar, the band program slaps, the test scores glow, but the tax escrow drains your savings on a schedule tighter than your kid's soccer calendar. But here's the catch. When the tax bill rivals a car payment times 5, good schools becomes a math problem. Suburban home values look solid on Zillow, but the annual tax can blow past 5 figures. Stack homeowners insurance, HOA rules that fine you for the wrong mailbox, and those delightful tolls just to visit your in-laws, and you're leaking thousands before groceries. It's like buying a Peloton for your budget. Looks smart, hurts daily. Let's break it down. A typical suburban colonial comes with a tax bill that can match a year of community college. Then tack on higher premiums, because older homes and storm exposure don't play nice. HOAs add landscaping, pool, and special assessment surprises. And tolls, the turnpike, parkway, bridges, each swipe is a micro-tax on your weekend, while Easy Pass quietly drains your account. Outbound moves are loud here. The flow heads to Pennsylvania and the Carolinas because lower taxes and cheaper housing change the monthly math fast. Cross the Delaware and many families cut their property tax by thousands while keeping access to the Northeast job map and culture. That's the draw. Fewer fixed costs, more breathing room. Commuting adds another layer. NJ transit passes, path fares, bridge and tunnel tolls, garage parking if you drive, street parking tickets if you don't. Even a cheap commute stacks into the hundreds every month. Multiply by 12 and ask yourself if that's funding your retirement or just paying for privilege. Retirees don't skate by either. Downsizing helps the square footage, not always the levy. Tax relief programs exist, but they rarely erase the full freight. Fixed income meets fixed 5-figure bill, and the cushion thins fast. You can sell the lawnmower, you can't sell the levy. Here's where it breaks. Once the kids graduate, you still carry the school-heavy tax. Equity growth stalls while your annual payment won't blink. The spreadsheet starts yelling. Number 4, Illinois. In Illinois, the bill keeps climbing while the population keeps declining. That's the red flag. Here's the thing. Property taxes are heavy, and they don't blink. Homeowners watch assessments creep, while unfunded pension obligations loom over every budget meeting, like a storm cloud that never moves on. You feel stuck because the fixed costs lock you in. Sell? Maybe. But the buyer does the same math and starts looking at cheaper counties, or out of state. But here's the catch. Taxes jump even in neighborhoods where prices are flat or sliding. Equity stalls while the levy rises. That's the wealth trap. You pay more each year for the same house, and the appreciation that's supposed to bail you out just idles. It's like running on a treadmill that keeps quietly increasing the incline. Chicago adds a risk premium. Crime perception pushes insurance carriers to price in more risk, and certain zip codes get hit worst. Auto and homeowners premiums trend higher, then the deductibles inch up too. Even if nothing happens to your block, your renewal still arrives fatter. That's the invisible surcharge for living inside the big narrative. The research backs the exodus. Net outflows stack year after year, not a one-off blip. Households leave because the tax burden and slow economy squeeze them from both sides. Pension debt per taxpayer hangs over the state's checkbook, and residents sense that future hikes are baked in. Insurance costs trend up, not down. The signal is clear, the spreadsheet is hostile. Then there's the daily friction. City sticker fees, zone permits, parking tickets that hit like surprise subscriptions, and sales taxes that make a normal Target run feel premium. Even groceries and takeout pick up an extra % or 2. None of these line items kill you alone. Together, they drain the month. Middle-class families need appreciation to beat the tax line. If the home grows 2%, but the tax and insurance bundle grows 6%, you're backpedaling. Wealth building pauses. Debt service doesn't. Raises get eaten before they hit your account. Let that sink in. So the break-even point shifts. If you can work from a laptop, why pay Chicago premiums for the same job you could do from a lower tax zip code? The brand, the restaurants, the lake, great, but the margin matters more. When the math flips, lifestyle perks become optional, not mandatory. Number 5, Massachusetts. Top-tier universities, top-tier hospitals, AAA price tag. Here's the thing. In Greater Boston, housing costs sprint while salaries jog. Even white-collar workers feel it. The median home price keeps leaping ahead of income growth, and down payments turn into a second career. You clear the degree, land the job, then meet a condo listing that wants 2 roommates and your bonus just to qualify. Rent isn't kinder. Landlords in good transit zones can name their number, and they do. But here's the catch. State voters approved a millionaire's tax, which changed the chatter at the top end and made high earners rethink long-term routes. Meanwhile, renters fight bidding wars for 500 square foot studios like it's an exclusive drop. You bring pay stubs, someone else brings 6 months up front. Landlords smile, your savings plan cries. Winter adds a special fee called heat. First-timers blow their budget on gas or electric because that charming brick swallows warmth like a black hole. Utility spikes land in January and February, and you still have to fund snow tires, ice melt, and the "why is my car making that cold squeal" maintenance. The research is blunt. Median home prices in Greater Boston and rents have climbed far faster than wages. And the outflow to New Hampshire, Florida, and North Carolina shows people are tapping out. It's not theory, it's the exit lane lighting up. The promise of the job market can't beat math forever. Parking sneaks in as a stealth tax. Don't own a car? You still pay in time and permits when your street flips to residential only after 6 p.m. Own one? Garage rates numb your soul, and neighborhood permits arrive with wait lists and rules that read like a puzzle. Living car light doesn't save you as much as you hoped when ride shares surge in the snow and commuter rails price monthly passes like a premium gym. Recent grads hit a wall fast. Student loans plus Boston rent means the down payment fund never grows. You're working in an innovation hub and still playing financial whack-a-mole by year 3. The prestige is real. The burn rate is realer, that's the irony. Elite ecosystem, entry-level wallet. Number 6, Louisiana. The houses look cheap. The insurance quote makes you dizzy. Here's the thing. Louisiana's sticker prices lure you in, then the risk premium slaps the calculator out of your hand. Hurricanes and floods turn homeowners and flood insurance from a line item into the main event. Since 2020, storms rattled the market so hard that multiple insurers bailed, competition thinned, and the remaining carriers raised rates. You don't shop for deals anymore, you hunt for anyone who'll write a policy. But here's the catch. Property taxes sit low and look friendly. Then premiums and repairs on aging infrastructure flip the script. You save a little on the levy, and then your renewal jumps 4 figures because a different parish flooded 2 hours away. Roofs, drainage, pumps. Maintenance comes faster and costs more in places that stay damp. That affordable mortgage? It's the appetizer. Summer adds another bill. The humidity drags your AC into overtime, and utility charges spike right when your paycheck has the least wiggle room. Wages lag national averages across many sectors, so there's less cushion to catch the hit. The end result is simple. You're paying big city money for storm country stress. The research points to instability. After the post-2020 storm cycles, premiums rose hard, carriers exited, and residents started leaving. Outmigration isn't a vibe. It's the survival move when your policy doubles and the roof still needs work. Planning gets tough when the core cost, insurance, can jump on a single renewal. Then you meet the fine print. Parish fees vary by municipality. Flood zone maps shift and suddenly you're in a higher risk zone that demands a bigger premium or a costly elevation retrofit. Raise the slab, add vents, or pay more every month. It's all expensive. The map updates and your budget flips from "we're okay" to "how much is a sump pump again?" Here's the insight. Once you add risk pricing, maintenance, and utilities, the total monthly bill can mirror expensive states with higher list prices but calmer insurance markets. It's like buying a discount smartphone and then paying triple for the charger, the case, and the warranty you can't skip. Number 7, West Virginia. You can buy a house. Can you buy a career? Here's the thing. West Virginia hands you low median home prices that look like a throwback. The mortgage fits. The wage doesn't. Paychecks lag national levels and job growth crawls. You can close on a place without sweating the down payment, then spend the next decade trying to find a role that moves your salary past barely comfortable. But here's the catch. The long-term bill isn't just the mortgage. Healthcare access thins out once you leave the bigger hospitals, so you drive farther and wait longer, which steals hours in cash. Education outcomes trail the national pack, which feeds back into fewer higher-paying employers setting up shop. Roads and broadband lag in too many pockets. That's not an aesthetic issue. It's a cost of opportunity charge you pay every month in smaller raises. Cross-border commuting is the workaround. People chase bigger paychecks in Columbus or Pittsburgh, and the car becomes your second office. Gas, tolls, and worn tires add up, while higher auto insurance in certain counties quietly taxes every mile. You get nights where your amenities are a gas station snack and a podcast because that's what's open after the drive. The data points one way. Population is shrinking. Labor force participation sits below the national average. Young adults leave at 18 to 34 in a steady stream. That bleeds the talent base, which scares off employers, which shrinks options further. It's a loop you can feel when a job posting gets 200 applicants and still pays small. And those cheap houses? Many are older, charming on the listing, needy in real life. Roofs, foundations, HVAC, moisture control, maintenance chews through the deal. Contractors are booked or far away, so you pay more or wait longer. The spreadsheet you loved at closing starts leaking line items you didn't budget. Here's the insight. The biggest expense is invisible. It's the promotion you don't get because the path isn't there. It's 5 years at flat pay while your friend in a bigger market leaps twice. Opportunity cost is a monthly bill you never see, and it compounds. Remote work could be the hero, but only if broadband is reliable and employers actually hire remote roles that match local skills. Some areas hum along, others buffer like a 2008 YouTube video. When that link breaks, the arbitrage dies. Number 8, Wyoming. Zero state income tax. Sounds perfect. So why are people leaving? Here's the thing. Wyoming's labor market is small, and it leans hard on energy and tourism. When oil and gas swing, paychecks swing. Tourism booms, then winter hits and hours dry up. That volatility keeps careers short-laddered. You're not climbing, you're hopscotching. And because the state is spread out, logistics get pricey. Getting goods in isn't cheap, so the no-tax win meets a delivery surcharge on life. But here's the catch. Boomtown housing turns into musical chairs. In peak seasons, inventory vanishes and prices spike. In busts, rents dip, but jobs disappear. It's stability you can't budget. Resort counties feel this hardest. Teton County with Jackson Hole becomes its own economy. Second homes, tourism money, and a housing market that treats locals like tourists with employee badges. Let's break it down. Groceries run higher because trucks drive longer and stores stock less variety. Flights cost more thanks to fewer routes and limited carriers. You pay premium prices just to visit family. Car insurance isn't bargain bin either. Long distances, wildlife hits, and winter roads add risk. The total cost of living racks up in small, boring ways that raid your savings. The data lines up. Migration is a two-way door, but outflows happen when jobs feel capped. Cost of living indexes show resort pockets running hot, and housing supply tightens where the scenery is best. Limited building and strict zoning in those counties keep prices high, so even with no income tax, your monthly burn climbs. That math doesn't care about sunsets or elk crossings. Then property taxes sneak up in hot zip codes. Even with modest rates, rising values push bills higher. Short-term rentals soak up what used to be workforce housing, so long-term leases shrink. Locals end up couch surfing seasons or driving an hour from cheaper towns, paying in gas what they saved in tax. Here's the insight. The income tax win gets eaten by scarcity premiums, higher basics, hard-to-find housing, and fewer rungs on the career ladder. If you don't hunt your income remotely, the local ladder is short. One promotion, then a cliff. That's not a plan, that's a pause. Number 9, Delaware. Delaware sells you low taxes. The fine print is everything else. Yes, the no sales tax thing slaps. You'll feel it on big buys. Tea vase, furniture, that fridge that won't die. But housing near the jobs in Newcastle or the beaches in Sussex isn't bargain bin. The closer you sit to Wilmington's office parks or Rehoboth's boardwalk, the more the listing price climbs. The tax-free shopping headline fades when the mortgage quote lands. But here's the catch. HOA and condo fees bite hard, especially in newer beachy communities with pools, clubhouses, and gates. Add coastal insurance. Hurricanes don't need a direct hit to move premiums. Some carriers step back from high-risk zones, and the ones that stay price the risk like they mean it. Healthcare can add another layer, with costs and coverage that don't always align with your budget. You dodge a sales tax at checkout, then watch monthly autopays swallow the savings. Commuters pay in miles and minutes. Run to Philly or Baltimore for work and stack tolls, bridge fees, and gas on repeat. Your easy-to-pass hits feel small until you add them up across a year, and the time sucked from your week is a stealth tax you never see coming. Remote days help. Full-time office? That commute line item grows fast. Let's talk trends. Median home prices in Newcastle have marched up alongside demand for access to jobs. Down in Sussex, the beach draw and second home buyers keep pressure on prices. Coastal risk pushes insurance higher, and migration flows, especially retiree arrivals, add more bidders to already tight inventory. You don't need a spreadsheet to feel it. You just need to tour 3 open houses and lose twice. Retirees with cash change the bid. They sell a pricier home elsewhere, then arrive ready to close. That sets comps you have to chase. Meanwhile, wage growth outside finance hasn't kept pace with carrying costs. If you're not landing a finance or specialized gig, the math stretches like old elastic. Technically still there, functionally useless. So here's the insight. If you don't earn finance money, the promise doesn't pencil. The no sales tax headline hides rising property values, HOA dues that feel like a gym membership plus cable, and insurance that punishes coastal zip codes. The real bill is monthly, not at checkout. Number 10, Nebraska. Nebraska looks affordable until the property tax shows up with friends. Here's the thing. The state leans hard on property taxes to fund schools, so homeowners and farmers carry the freight. That means your bill isn't just the house. It's the district, the buses, the bond issue you didn't follow because you were working late. When valuations climb, the levy follows. And the check you cut each year starts to feel like a second mortgage. Farmers get hit twice. Land values balloon on paper, then the tax arrives in real dollars. But here's the catch. Wages in a lot of sectors trail national averages, while housing in Omaha and Lincoln keeps rising. The median home price jumps, rents creep, and paychecks don't keep pace. You're chasing a moving target with sneakers tied together. The entry-level buyer misses the ladder. The mid-career family delays upgrades because the monthly nut already screams. Winter adds a stealth tax. Heating bills spike in January and February, and older homes gulp gas like it's free. Then spring brings hail, which means higher insurance premiums and deductibles built for storm country. Toss in car registration add-ons, those little fees that multiply like gremlins, and the cheap state label starts to look like marketing. Let's ground it. Effective property tax rates land high compared to peers, median home and rent trends in the metros run hot, and the outflow to lower tax neighbors signals people are voting with U-Hauls. It's real. It's happening. The spreadsheet says so when the escrow increase email hits and you spit out your coffee. Jobs are another pinch. A handful of major employers dominate, which caps leverage. You can threaten to leave, but HR knows your options. Remote roles help, but they're competitive and often require credentials that take time and money. Without a broader base of companies, you get one raise, then a long pause. Here's the insight. When your tax bill grows faster than your equity, the math breaks. You're feeding an asset that isn't compounding fast enough. It's like paying for a premium gym while the treadmill is unplugged. So families weigh roots versus relief. Do you stay for Friday night lights? The neighbor who snowblows your sidewalk? The church potluck? Or do you cross a border for lower taxes and a wider job map? That debate is happening at kitchen tables right now. Here's the line that decides everything. If housing plus taxes plus insurance are more than 45% of your take-home, you're stuck. Let's build a simple break-even you can run in 5 minutes. Take your actual net paycheck, add your mortgage or rent. Now bolt on property taxes divided by 12, homeowners or renters insurance, utilities you actually pay, and any HOA. If that total passes 45% of your take-home, you're not saving consistently. You're renting your life from your bills. Most of you in these 10 states are over the line today. Not in 5 years, today. That's why the exits are busy. The math broke, and people followed the numbers. Now the anchor. A 7% mortgage turns a $426,000 home into a monthly boulder. Principal and interest alone jump into the high 2000s. Add taxes, insurance, HOA, and utilities, and you're staring at a number that behaves like a luxury car payment stapled to your house. One rate change and the whole month shifts. Let's talk context. Median home prices climbed from roughly $313,000 in 2019 to about $426,800 by early 2024. That's a $113,800 jump, while rates hovered near 7%. You feel it in approvals, in appraisals, and in the two words everyone hates, escrow shortage. In 2023, millions moved state to state because that combo trashed their budget. It's real. It's happening. So, what's the move? Arbitrage your life. If you can work remote, keep the paycheck and shed the tax. No income tax states turn net pay into savings. Second-tier metros with real job markets cut housing 30 to 50% without stranding your career. You trade a famous skyline for a bigger balance. Here's the insight. The urgent move isn't emotional, it's arithmetic. You're not giving up. You're rebalancing a broken equation. If the line is over 45%, you don't negotiate with vibes. You change variables? Run the numbers for your county this week. Use local median property taxes, local insurance quotes, your actual utilities from the last 12 months. Don't guess. If you're over, make a short list of fixes you can deploy in 90 days. Mini payoff time. Shift one lever, state income tax, insurance risk, or school district, and 4 figures can fall off your monthly. Move from a coastal hazard zone to inland, and the premium drops. Pick a district with lower levies, and your escrow chills. Land in a no-income tax state, and your net jumps without a raise. So here's the final tell. The exodus isn't vibes. It's a spreadsheet revolt. When your line snaps, you move. The U.S. median home price jumping about $113,800 since 2019 didn't help, and a lot of you felt it the second your pre-approval shrank. Like this video so the algorithm thinks I'm important. Subscribe because someday you'll want to escape. Would you live where taxes are low but insurance is wild? Yes or nope? Run your numbers, compare job markets, total cost of living, and tax structure, then act. Comment, stay in sync, or leave and build. Let that sink in. That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.